Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. Interesting. The Nine of Cups volunteered for you. It's a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Okay, try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. So not only do you get, now I didn't cut the deck like I usually do because I wanted to stop when that Nine of Cups came out. Okay, this was the volunteer, happiness. Spirit's way of saying, don't worry, things are going to go your way. You're going to be happy. Okay, your life is going to get better and better and better. You will feel the abundance, the satisfaction in your physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual, creative lives. All right, but not only that, but you also get the Star card. You're somebody that is trying to follow your North Star. You're trying to follow your divine guidance. You know, I think you understand that happiness really depends upon figuring out who you are and why you're here. Figuring out what you want to do in life and why. Why do you want to do it? The what and the why, I think, are very important for you. And I think having the what and the why and then doing it, figuring out some way to just get it started, is going to make you a much happier person. Right? The Star card likes to show you things that you don't always like to see. The Star card shows us our blockages, shows us where our buttons are, shows us those things that may be getting in the way of us doing what we're meant to do. Let's see what's going on here. We'll use these two as our starting point, and we will put down, there, look at that. Oh, that's good. That's a Strength card, Lust card. We have the Empress. You have an Ace of Wands. You got the Hermit. Yeah. So this card will be going sideways, right? That's usually the card that we will put across to a Hanged Man. A lot of major arcana energies. You have an Ace of Pentacles, fire to earth. The magical act of creation, the art and science of manifestation. You have a Princess of Swords. You have the Moon card. And you have a Knight of Swords. So the Princess of the Swords and the Knight of Swords, you're going to be learning new information that you're going to have to implement. Okay? This is about paying attention to what you are paying attention to. All right? The Princess of Swords, I think, is one of the most important cards of the reading today because it really is kind of one of the only other cards besides major arcana and our aces. Right? You got, of course, the Nine of Cups, but we have these two air cards. So why don't we start in an odd place today? We're going to start with this. And it's my show. I can do that if I want. This is the Princess of Swords. And it's the card that's asking you to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. What are you feeding your mind on? One of the greatest habits that we could get into is intentionally learning things. You know, what's that saying? Don't major in minor things. Right? Don't be aware of how we're using our time, what we're consuming. Are we mindlessly scrolling the internet? Are we paying more attention to the celebrity gossip than we are to our own bodies, our own desires, our own education? What are we intentionally bringing into ourselves? What are you reading? What are you learning about? Right? When we are when you're on YouTube, I find that you're coming to this channel intentionally, right, to watch these readings because you are hoping to gain something from this. You're hoping to learn something or get some insight or get some inspiration or motivation or whatever it is. But it's not just random. It's not, you don't just put it on in the background for noise, you know. The way we might just be kind of mindlessly scrolling or just letting any old kind of random radio station play just so there's something going on. No, I feel like you're a very intentional person. And this card's about that. It's paying attention to what you're paying attention to. Don't major in minor things, right? There's value in all information, right? Any kind of reading anything is good for you, yes. But reading things for a specific purpose, for an intent, to help you develop the skills and the knowledge and the experience and the insight and the motivation and the inspiration to go after your goals and to live your purpose, to help you figure out the how about your what and why, right? It's going to allow you to make progress. It's going to get you there. Okay? So one of the most important things we can do is be very intentional with what we're consuming mentally, intellectually, what we're reading, what we're paying attention to. Okay? Reading books, not just randomly, not just based on some immediate gratification, desire kind of interest thing or a passing interest, but cultivating a knowledge base, cultivating a skill set, right? That's going to help you to do what you want to do in life. This is a very important card. Now, we have these three cards right in the middle. We have that the biggest kind of challenge, the work for you right now is to find out what is blocking your confidence. What is blocking your ability to stand up in front of the crowd and give your speech? You know, this is a card that says we have courage, we have bravery, that we feel capable, that we feel this pride and this confidence. We're going to get up in front of people and we can say what we need to say. You know, this is us doing what we want to do. But I think the obstacle for most of us is kind of a fear, I guess, right? It's almost an insecurity, almost a feeling of inadequacy, or that, you know, I'm not good enough at giving speeches. I can't get up and give a speech. I'm not good at it. You're not going to get good at it unless you do it, right? So this is almost us knowing what we want to do and why we want to do it, knowing that we're going to be happy once we're doing this thing in life and living this way. But the problem is that it's hard to get started because we haven't done it yet. And we don't feel that we are so confident in our capabilities. Right? The Lust card is a card of magic. It's about knowing what your capabilities are, knowing that you have what it takes to do this, and being able to get up and project your energy in the best way that you can. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes. Yeah, there's going to be things that you're going to have to learn, new skills for you to develop. It's an ongoing evolutionary process of you getting good at something, right? But that sort of goes on the how. You know what you want to do, and you know why you want to do it. How you do it is just by doing it, just by starting somewhere. And even if it's just about you, let's say it is about public speaking, right? I don't feel that you're a great public speaker, but you're going to become great. I don't feel like you have a lot of experience doing it, but you're going to practice. Maybe at first this is just us in front of the mirror. Maybe not even the mirror. Maybe this is just you with your eyes closed in a dark room giving your speech. You know, maybe you have to work your way up to just doing it in front of the mirror, where you have to look at yourself, you know? Then maybe you're going to do it. Maybe you're going to film it. You're going to do it into a camera. Maybe eventually you're going to work your way up to doing it with your friend, your partner, or in front of your cat. And eventually to a group of people. Eventually the whole stadium, the whole, amphitheater is going to be listening to you. So we don't know exactly how it's going to go. We just know that we need to start doing it. We need to work our way up, and eventually we'll get this confidence. We'll get good at it. And it doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean we're flawless. It doesn't mean we never have to learn anything else. But we're comfortable enough in our abilities that I can get up in front of a room and I can give my presentation knowing I'm going to make mistakes, knowing that I'm going to trip over some words here and there, but doing it anyway with confidence. And I think this will grow over time for you. Okay, so really the Lust card is about the courage that it takes to just get started doing something like this. because it's part of your purpose. You know it's going to improve your life in a million ways. I feel like this is you knowing who you are and why you're here. And this is how you're going to realize that. This is how you're going to manifest that. By doing it. You're going to develop the courage by doing it. Fire to earth. The ace to the ace. Fire to earth. We have to begin somewhere. You have the idea. You have the motivation. You have the inspiration. We just need the courage and the humbleness, the humility, right? To just begin. To just start doing it. No matter how bad we are at it. Okay. The hanged man in that future position is kind of like your willingness to sacrifice your pride a little bit. You know, if this card is the pride, then this card is kind of like, I'm willing to look like a fool. I'm willing to be embarrassed. I'm willing to suffer a little bit for the sake of doing this, because we know, let's say you're a comic, right? You get up on stage. The only way you're going to get good at stand-up comedy is to stand up and do your comedy. You know, and to do that, you're going to have to get pelted with some rotten tomatoes once in a while. You're going to get booed. You're going to get heckled. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to have to really humble yourself enough to have the courage, right, to stand up and do it. And so it takes a profound belief in yourself to go up and be humbled, right? Your first time on stage as a comic is going to humble you. And we have to be willing to do that again and again and again to really get good at something and to really master something. I feel like this is the opportunity for you where you have the courage to go out and do this, even though you know it's going to probably be rough the first time. You know that it's probably not going to be the miraculous success that everybody hopes for, but this is how the journey begins. An overnight success is not created overnight. It's created through many, many challenges, many, many instances of pushing myself to do it, even though I don't want to, even though there's that fear, insecurity, the sort of reluctant part of me that doesn't want to do it, pushing myself to do it anyway. Having the courage overriding the embarrassment, let's say. Okay? Having the courage to be humbled. And that's how you're going to going to develop this great idea, this inspiration of yours. We know that the Empress underneath here is it's sort of a reciprocating energy. It's kind of like the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. The more that you suffer for your art, for your development, for your skill, for your path, for your purpose, the more you're going to the more you're going to grow. This is something that you have to feed with your own blood, sweat, and tears. That's the only thing that's going to make this thing grow for you. Okay, so the Empress represents, I think, the growth of whatever this is, whatever your path is. It's a hobby, it's a skill, it's a talent, it's an art form, it's a business, right? You got to bleed for it. You got to be willing to bleed for it. You're on a mission. Your divine mission. And so it gives you this almost superhuman strength to go forward, knowing that you're going to have to shed some blood, sweat, and tears. But every drop of blood, sweat, and tears is helping to grow this thing into what it's meant to become. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters to me is that you know what it is and you know why you're doing it. The how we're going to do it is just by doing it. How we're going to do it is by having the courage to be humbled. By taking that step no matter what the cost. Every step you take is an opportunity to learn more. Okay? And that's going to be a big tool for you, is your ability to pay attention to what you're paying attention to. You're reading, you're researching, you're studying things that are going to help you on this path, that are going to contribute to what you're doing. Right? Using myself as an example. I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for what I do here on this channel. Okay. And I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. I like a good celebrity gossip. I like a good reality television show, and sometimes I'll indulge in those things. I'm not ashamed of that. But for the most part, I try to choose those things that I know are going to be useful for me. I try to read more tarot books. I try to read more philosophy books. I try to read inspirational and motivational writings, and I try to look at art. I try to listen to music. I try to do things that I know are going to contribute to this work that I'm doing. Okay, and if I ever stop learning, these readings will fall absolutely flat. Absolutely flat. Okay. Because I can't just keep recycling the same things that I've already, have learned. I have to learn more new things, and that new knowledge will mix with the old knowledge and will create something a little bit different. And that's how we keep something evolving over time. We keep it from getting stale, and we keep making progress. It's one step at a time. And I think it really is important that we pay attention to what we're paying attention to. Okay? Don't major in minor things. Yeah. The hermit, you have the hermit up here above everything. And the hermit's your ability to really, I think in a literal way, go hermit mode. It's your value of your own solitude, following your own light, living with intentionality, knowing that what you're doing, what you want to do, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and all the factors that go into you actually doing it are going to be your own journey. So you cannot compare yourself to what other people are doing. You can't compare yourself to, oh, well, look at that comedian over there. They got up on stage. They're doing great, right? They're just, they speak so eloquently, and they always land their jokes, and everybody always laughs at them, laughs with them, You can't compare yourself to other people because you don't know their journey. You don't know how many times like Dave Chappelle bombed, right? Before he became successful, or name any of these other great comedians, right? George Carlin or something. We don't compare ourselves to other people. We want to be inspired by other people who have made it, right? But we can't compare ourselves to them in a way that's making us feel like, gosh, I must not have what it takes because I get up on stage and I don't know I get sweaty, I stumble over my words, I don't know what I'm talking about, my jokes aren't funny, If you believe that this is what you're meant to do, you will realize that your journey is your own journey, okay? Your struggles are going to be unique to you, and your breakthrough moments are going to be different than anybody else's. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else except to who you were yesterday and who you're going to be tomorrow. Your journey is your own. You're going on a path that's never been traveled before. Your path is absolutely unique. That's what the hermit does, going off trail. You're not following the tried and true route that everybody else did, because then you're going to be like everybody else. You're absolutely unique. Your path has never been walked before. Okay? And so in that sense, we are kind of alone on this path. You're doing it yourself. You may have companions that come and go. There may be, your path might overlap and intersect with somebody else's path. Yeah, I'd be like, oh, wow, yeah, I remember, George Carlin was here at this moment one time in his career. And now, look, here I am passing by that kind of, that pathway again. It doesn't mean that your journey is the same as anybody else's, but that there is some overlap and there is some intersection. But your path has never been walked before. Okay. And I think that you're recognizing that, and maybe this, in a way, is contributing to a feeling of isolation or a little bit of loneliness. Okay. I kind of feel that you got that kind of lone mountain goat vibe right now. Okay. Path of the Serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Now, because we have the abundance of major arcana cards, a lot of majors, I feel like this is something that is absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt meant for you. Like, you've got the right idea here, okay? And I think that if you activate all the rest of these cards, taking all the major arcana aside, right? And you just activate, I know I'm messing up the whole thing here. If you just take these, and if you learn to function, activate these cards and employ these cards, everything else will take care of itself. Okay? You have to have the vision, the inspiration to do this. You have to believe that this is your purpose. This sort of represents the why, right? The what and the why, because you realize that this is your destiny. You realize that this is the only thing that's going to make you really, truly happy in life, is to follow this path, develop these skills, talents, hobbies, career, whatever it is. Okay? You're pursuing this is you following your bliss. The words of Joseph Campbell. And if you follow your bliss and you're willing to keep making keep taking steps and keep learning, right? Keep learning and growing, and keep reflecting on the path, keep making decisions for the future, and stick with this, and even use those things that you're learning to continue motivating yourself. See, this is the Knight of Swords. This is looking into the future, right? And looking into the future with sort of an excitement, with almost a nervous energy. It's almost like a stage fright, right? But if we're continuing to take these steps and we keep learning from what we do, taking in new information, then I think we're always going to have we're always going to feel very optimistic about the future. We're going to be excited to go back and try it again tomorrow. It's we get home from our hanged man experience, and we sort of feel that we suffered for our art, suffered for this path. But then we go home and we read some, maybe a biography of somebody that we admire, or we read some kind of new inspirational book, or some kind of a joke book, a book about a comedian or comedy, or whatever this learning experience is. It motivates us, right? And it allows us to make the decision again that I'm going to go do it again tomorrow. And that's what we see with this knight. The Knight of Swords is always thinking, I'm going to go do it again tomorrow. We've already made the decision to continue tomorrow. And I feel like we need this every single day. We need to recommit ourselves to, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. We have to keep ourselves motivated. We have to keep ourselves in that courage, right? We got to stay brave. We got to stay strong. We got to believe in ourselves. We have to recommit every day. Every day is another step, right? We take that step. We go through the process of learning from our mistakes and paying attention to what we're paying attention to. And then we make the decision again. What we want to avoid is that fear of the dark, scary forest. This moon card. Okay. The moon card is the uncertainty. The moon card is the fear. And the fear, worry, and concern is fear, worry, and concern itself. The only fear is fear itself, right? That's what this card in this position means. We're just sort of scared of being scared. We're nervous about being nervous. We have stage fright about having stage fright. So it's not the act that's doing it, but it's the way that we respond to that stress. Because everybody that's about to go on stage gets the sweaty palms, gets the butterflies, gets the sweat, gets the nerves. We can either look at it as fear or we can look at it as excitement. But in a sense, we need this, because it's only in the face of fear that we can even be brave. If you're not scared, no one's going to call it bravery. Like I tell my daughter, I said, when you're scared, that's the only time that you can really be brave. So let's be okay. Let's be comfortable with a little bit of fear. She's scared of going to a new school, or scared of going to a new class, or, going on stage. She does some other activities, extracurricular. She's kind of afraid of doing that stuff. She's a little bit of fear. She says, Dad, I'm scared. Yeah, let's use that. Let's use those nerves. Let's use that fear to be brave and to push ourselves and to do it. And then she did it once, she did it twice, she overcame her fear, she started getting more and more brave. And then by the end of the afternoon, she was doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, right? Her first tournament ever. This was a few months ago. And at first she said, I'm scared. And she'd go in, she would do the first match, and she didn't really do very well. And she said, Dad, I'm really scared. I said, let's be brave. Let's keep going. Let's try it again. You know? Because this is, by you facing your fear, this is you being brave. By the end of the afternoon, she won second place medal in that tournament. And by the end of the afternoon, she was like, when's my next match? Can I do it? Where can I go again? And we're like, honey, everybody's leaving. It's late at night. It's over. Everybody's going home. She says, no, I want to do it again. I want to go back in. I want to battle somebody else. You know, she was really excited about it, really motivated. And I think that she learned how to kind of turn that nervous energy into motivation or adrenaline or inspiration. Yeah. So anyway, you can't really be brave without that fear, without that uncertainty. Okay? So it's an interesting card that we have here, that moon card. I think the moon card for you is also talking about the long-term effects of this. We have to understand that we're not going to be a beginner forever. And we have to realize that by continuing down this road, we're going to continue to develop. Okay? In every moment, it may feel like this is the worst thing that's ever happened, that this is, I'm just scared out of my wits, or this is the uncertainty. It's kind of the fear of the dark, scary forest, right? Surrounds us. Right? But this card is about the narrowing of the psychic aperture. It's a narrowing of the vision so that we can see not just what's around me right now. Right now, I'm scared. Right now, this is like I'm standing on stage in front of a huge crowd. Like, this is overwhelming. Able to focus our vision not on this, but on the long term. Focus on what's on the other side of this. And by doing that, it's allowing us to say, you know what? I may be really scared and fearful and anxious right now, but I'm only going to be here for 10 minutes, let's say. It's going to create a lifetime of progress. By getting through right now, I'm benefiting long term. So really, it's putting things into perspective. We're defocusing on what's right here, and we're keeping our vision focused on what's on the other side of this dark, scary forest. Okay? And that, again, it's kind of the Knight of Swords that's focused on the future. Right? As a way to deal with the present, we realize that there are long-term benefits to this, that this fear shall pass, that this scary moment will be over before we know it. And we're going to feel so good when it's done and we're off stage, we're backstage, and we're just like, I'm so happy that's over. But that was such a huge, it maybe only be 10 minutes, but it was such a huge step for your development of this thing that you're doing, whatever this is. I don't know what it is. I realized we never selected a mystery card, did we? Let's do that now. Sometimes I forget. I haven't forgotten in quite a long time, but let's put one down here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. At least I don't think we did, right? It's not here anywhere. Anyway, if you have a feeling for what this card is, I want you to put it in the comments down below, okay? I feel like we're pretty much ready to look at it. You know, I think with the Hanged Man, I think that's a very important energy too, because when we feel so strongly about what we're doing and why we're doing it, the Hanged Man becomes our willingness to sacrifice and suffer for it. You know, it's kind of like saying, if this is really your mission in life, you'll find a way to do it. You'll find a way to overcome whatever the obstacle is, whatever the uncertainty, whatever we're afraid of. Not being good enough, not having the resources, etc., being booed, being rejected. Whatever our fear is, we'll find a way to overcome. It's kind of like when it involves my daughter, I'll find a way to do it. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to find a way. All right? Because it takes us outside of ourselves. It's something bigger than we are. It's something that's more important than just my fear, my insecurity. Right? It's a divine mission. It's my bigger purpose in life. It goes beyond my personal human likes or dislikes, my own personal biases or insecurities. It's a divine mission. I think that's why you've got that star card. It's who you are. It's why you're here. It's your mission in life. It is your purpose. It is your destiny, and you are the vehicle of that destiny. It's not about you. It's about you being in service to your own soul. It's something greater than just the human personality. Yeah. And I think we have to remind ourselves of this and make good choices to honor that. And now we should look at the mystery card. Gosh, I mean, maybe we didn't select them because we don't really need one. I mean, what could we possibly ask for? A 6, maybe. Maybe a 6 of swords. I want to see that there's some sort of plan in the intellectual energy, that we sort of see a blueprint. We're seeing how everything that we're sort of learning, everything that we're focusing on and paying attention to somehow fits into this. It doesn't mean that, like, if you're a comedian, you should only read books about comedy. No, that's narrow. That's too narrow. It means that whatever you look at, whatever you read, whatever you pursue, do it intentionally and find a way for it all to relate back to comedy. It's like, I don't just read tarot books. I read philosophy, I read fiction, I read motivational books, psychology books, magic books, because I'm able to relate it all back to my work here. Okay, so it really is that kind of organization. I kind of want a 6 of swords here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. It's a 7 of wands. Pushing through something even when it feels like we are fighting a losing battle, even when it feels like we are alone against the world, even when it feels like the odds are against us, even when it is challenging. This is something that you're willing to fight for no matter what. This is valor. Again, if it's your kids, right? If it's your child, if it's your divine mission, you're going to fight no matter what. No matter what the odds are, I'm not going to give up. This is Spirit's way of telling you, do not give up. Okay? You're creating your new life. You're building your new future. That 9 of Cups that's happiness. You're building that happy life. Don't give up on it. Don't quit what you're doing. Battle with yourself to overcome whatever is holding you back. And fight for this. If you believe in this, that this is your mission in life, don't give up. All right. Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do some Jing card reading, and we're going to do some oracle card readings. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn, usually Thursday and Sunday. Feel like you needed this bonus reading. Be sure to watch both of your other readings and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.